so good to see them all going around.
Long kick inside the forward 50. It's a rather inexperienced Blues outfit in terms of tall forwards as well. It's a nice play to come off half-back. Lockie Charlson for Werribee, who's playing against brother Harry this morning. One of the very few untried Blues at AFL level out there. There is Harry Charlson just waiting for it to come out. Wright didn't allow him the opportunity. Hollands has been busy in the early part, puts his head over it again, and Jordan Boyd, who shook off a shoulder injury sustained last week, to play today. There you see the current temperature, just the 10 degrees. Good morning for the long sleeves, I reckon, Geordie.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. 10 degrees, that's chilly.
Fogarty tried to extract it. Ball out toward the boundary line. And a little bit of a physical skirmish. As Drew told us earlier, Werribee's last game here, the 2024 Grand Final. Their previous game to that was the 2023 Grand Final. So it's a little bit of a come-down in occasion. Round 14 of this VFL season. They're 7-1-3. The Bees under Dan Lowther, their first-year coach. Carlton 5-6 under Damien Truslove. Ashton Moyer's been playing a little bit of everywhere in recent weeks. See him marauding around IKON Park this morning. Riley drops it down at their feet. There's the first gamer, Eli Pearce, the Bell Park product, coming through for Werribee. Player number 1001 in Werribee history, was presented his jumper by former Werribee player and his coach at Bell Park, James Saker, before the game this morning. Chesser drops it off to Charlson, threw his boot at it. He got dispossessed in a brutish tackle, not rewarded.
Good few repeat stoppages here inside forward 50 for Werribee. Bit of a ping-pong game to start off with, so I bet they were sucking them in and appreciated the repeat stoppages after the pace of the game to start off with.
Far more contested side this season under Dan Lowther. Werribee, number one in the competition for clearance. Young comes off half-back. Tucker turns onto his left peg, gets it infield to Hollands. Now the run of Saad, dashing through the middle, takes a couple on, bangs it inside the 50. Qualmun floating back. O'Keefe was the tall target. Clark stepping through for Werribee. The skipper offloads it to Cousins. Now back to Ayres. That awkward kicking style gets onto his right boot, but fashions it out wide to Azai. He bites one off into the middle for Lazaro, who's been in very good form, Goldie, since crossing from Port Melbourne in the off-season.
Absolutely, he's such a hard worker. He's always been, even at AFL level, he's a very hard worker, and averaging 26 disposals and 7 clearances a game. He's found his real niche at Werribee. Cooper
White, one of the 7 Werribee premiership players out there playing for Werribee this morning. Elliott, the target of the kick, got bumped off the footy by Moyer. And a good mark from Big Flynn Riley. What are you looking forward to seeing in his game this morning, Goldie?
I think it's just his ability to actually impact the game, like those marks and things like that. That's what's going to take him to the next level at the AFL level. He's obviously, with his height, going to get his hand on the hit-outs, but it's just, can he impact the rest of the game?
345 games for Todd Goldstein, alongside the recently reappointed Collingwood AFLW vice-captain in Geordie Allen. With you on Fox Footy this morning. Kick to a contest, it's slapped over and out of play. Big congratulations, Geordie.
Thank you, Joel. Always nice to be voted in and have the support of the playing group. And up there with Rubes again, another Fox Footy.
Yes, Fox Footy's own.
Yeah, a friend of Fox Footy.
Fox Footy just dominating the leadership contingents at many of AFLW clubs as well, just quietly. Free kick to Qualmun here, who didn't go back behind the mark. It's an absolute sack of a thing inside the forward 50. Elliott can't latch onto it. Got a hand to it. Charlson had to play it at ground level. Wright can't control it. Wrighting just kept on moving and slammed it into the post for the first score of the morning.
I think Carlton have done well to defend the ground so far. They've made it a scrap inside D50 as the ball turns over here.
Get a look. White was dragged off it. Boyd turned around to the umpire. He thought he gave a free kick away for a moment. Couldn't believe maybe he didn't get what he thought he deserved. And that whistle was forthcoming in the end. Eight minutes played in this one. It's been a bit of a grind early. We know that both these teams can score in bunches. Werribee putting up 170 on Essendon a couple of weeks ago. Prout at half forward. Here's Payer, one of the couple of former Werribee players. Lord, deep entry. An opportunity for Hogg. Just needs it to sit for him. Eventually it did. Offloaded the hand pass to Chesser. Tight to the boundary line. And he couldn't get the required purchase on it. They got a helping hand out of play.
Quite slippery conditions out there with, I think, with the fog, the way it's been, hasn't been able to dry the oval. So when the ball's been a bit of time on the ground, it's been quite hard to handle so far.
Blues get a look inside forward 50 here. Tucker puts his head over it. Crashing through was Tyson Gresham. Flying shot out of the pack. And it's Cooper Lord, who almost got the Blues on the board, but it was touched. It was a momentary celebration.
They sold it well.
Absolutely. Lewis Young on the bench with maybe a little bit of an injury concern there. The right knee or the right hamstring. Getting a little bit of work. These cold mornings can just take a little while to get going.
They're not a play they can afford to lose there this game.
No. They didn't need to lose another defender, that's for sure. Had the 7 games at AFL level, 7 at VFL level this season. Lewis Young. Wright's kick up the line's a good one to Elliott, who hits up at high half forward. Wright, having delivered it to him, now needs to make the ground to get back inside the forward 50. Jack Riding spears his pass. That's a beautiful bit of delivery. And Anthony Di Pasquale's a good man to have it in the hands of.
That was a great delivery. You can see that the Blues have just populated D50. I wonder if they're aware of the fact that maybe they'll be under quite a bit of offensive pressure, so they're over-indexing on the defensive side of things. And as you see, when they move the ball outside 50, they're a bit thin in options going forward.
Good goal-kicking form. Kicked 4 last week in his first VFL game for the season. He's kicked 32 for Kai Abram across the course of the season. Bagged 10 earlier in the year against Euroa. Comes in here on the right foot and just got it to the behind line in the end. Give a man a rap. That's generally what happens. Adam Saad can bring it back into play. Got caught in at least 2 minds, maybe 3. Went the two-handed bounce in the end and just dropped it outside the defensive 50. White got barreled over, tackled by Chesser. It's going to be a free kick going to Cooper White as well. Werribee in there. Away yellow with the black W this morning. Of course, Carlton would have been a big old jumper clash had they gone with the usual strip, the majority black. White kicks to the pocket. Moyer got a ride over the top of Di Pasquale. Almost pulled in a hanger in the back pocket. Riding's kick. Pearce through the arms back. Wanted a free. Played for it. Won't get it. Campriali spikes it out of there. Prout beat to it by Donegan. Lazaro. Louis Pinnock kicks to full forward. And it falls onto the chest of Brady Wright.
Would have been a lovely highlight if Moore had taken that mark, but wouldn't mind the defenders in these conditions just punch it out of bounds and allow them to reset there.
So Brady Wright went goalless in his first game, kicked 1 in his second. He's kicked 25 in the 7 games following that. And he's got Werribee's first of the morning.
It's one of those ones as a defender when it just drops into the space in front of your forward. and they can just protect the space and do their work. That was great by Brady Wright there. But that's the craft of a brilliant forward. It often looks like luck, but that alertness to know where the space is and where your defender is and just protect it in the event that the ball does get kicked there. Obviously, he's a big target, someone that they look for. So knowing that that space in front of him is one that he can access, very well done there by Brady Wright on the board.
Good to see Lewis Young back out there for the Blues as well. So Brady Wright's last 7 weeks, 3-3, 3-3, 6-5-2, and then 1 already this morning. Maybe a little bit of sun starting to poke through here at IKON Park as well, which will be welcome news for spectators and certain Fox Footy employees on the boundary alike. Logan overran the footy for the Blues. Fogarty, Hollands, scooped it up on the move, went back and got it. Got the arms free, handball to Riley, flips it inside the forward 50. They've got something going here, Carlton. Tucker just couldn't escape the tackle. Newton in defence for Werribee. Coming firing over the top there was Farah. Hands and knees stuff on the last line here. Simpson, Ayres. Riding, handball over the top to the hard-working Donegan. Industrious as always. Now they can build the footy up off half-back. A crunching tackle from Will Reinhold, who absolutely got a hold of Anthony Di Pasquale.
Two brilliant defensive efforts. We saw Paya lay a tackle that prevented a goal, and another one there by Reinhold. Just those defensive efforts are invaluable to a team.
He's a big physical customer, Will Reinhold, the man from Temora. Play just about anywhere on the field. Station your defence in the early part of this one. Simpson almost slipped over, pumps it inside 50. Here's Pearce, the first gamer, got boot to ball, and this will work out nicely. Ivicic running in, threw it on his boot. It's away to the left. Taking control of the territory here in the last little while of Werribee. It's the 4 inside 50s for Carlton in 15 minutes of game time. Great to have you with us as part of the Super Saturday on Fox. Of course, Carlton West Coast coming up. We'll send you there as part of our Fox Footy coverage at the conclusion of our game this morning. Collingwood, Richmond, and then the showdown a little bit later tonight. Time it was Duffy who couldn't keep it in play for the Blues. Riley lumbers over to do battle with Kwalmun. Big AJ got there decisively, ran into Hollands, just dropped it in the tackle in the end. Logan's hand pass on the up, pinched by Donegan. Dispossessed was Ivicic. They chain it forward by hand, the Blues. Sharp work from Hollands to Tucker. Now Farah kicked a long goal last week against the Giants from similar range. Drops this one off inside the 50. And Darcy Tucker just continued to work.
Beautiful delivery there by Hollands. 100% kicking efficiency so far, so that's his foot skills on show.
6 touches in the early going for Ollie Hollands. Tucker with 4 goals from his 4 games on the season thus far. There's a beautiful look at the assignment. And the lefty just drags it across. So 7 points is the Bees' lead. Blues will force the turnover. Logan with the setup kick. A long one. Farah in the goal square, had it punched away. A couple of Diamond Creek teammates in the Northern Footy League. Werribee will bring it back in from full back. Pavlidis kicks out wide. They've got the targets in the aerial dominance. Elliott and Wright are certainly providing them some options. There's Louis Pinnock, the captain of the Big V. Massimo Razzo, Richmond's leading goal kicker last season, who probably hasn't recaptured his best goal-kicking form in his first season with Werribee. Just the 6 goals on the season from 8 games after 26 last year for the Tigers. Tullio and Boyd in a battle of the long sleeves. And Lazaro will take the free kick after the last touch. Jordan Boyd's not especially keen to give the ball back to him.
He's done a pretty good job of keeping that underneath him there.
It's excellent craft. I'm not sure it's the kind of thing you're practicing at training, but it's good schoolyard stuff from Jordan Boyd nonetheless. Here's Tullio to Donegan, striding up toward the 50. Kick to the pocket. Beat Di Pasquale. Werribee will get another look inside the attacking 50. The only goal of the game thus far came through Brady Wright, the 27th of his campaign. He'll do the ruck work here against Riley. Works his way to front spot, got shoved under it and gets a free. It's just a little bit of panic having been caught out of position there, Goldie.
Yeah, it's that bend elbow to the pushing action that's what cost him there. He needed to probably have the straight arms earlier just to work his opponent under the ball.
So Brady Wright, he's got the only goal of the game thus far. He's got both in the early going. And his rich vein of form continues.
2 goals, Brady Wright. What a start. That's the advantage of taking the ruck inside forward 50 there. Obviously, he's an incredibly tall forward, but it's kind of that Tom Hawkins role. You never know what can happen. Get a free kick and you're putting your best goal kicker in front of the big sticks.
And I think a lot of key forwards are really actually enjoying that role now because it just gets them into the game, gets them a touch of the footy, which they may not normally get involved in. So just that gets an extra couple of possessions they might get a game, which all key forwards love.
So 2 in the first quarter for Brady Wright. The Bees have won their past 4. They've been playing some really good footy in the attacking sense, and they could be lining up another big score this morning unless Carlton can really buckle down. They'll win another clearance, which is the absolute A-grade strength of their game. Newton looking for Wright again. It floats over the back. Di Pasquale was there, pinched by Charlson, who arches the back and tries to generate some dash back the other way. Logan was called to go. Back to Charlson. The East Point product from Ballarat. He'd be used to mornings like this. Probably considers it reasonably warm. Kicks up toward half forward. Duffy put his fist through it. White almost kept it in with the back heel. In fact, he did more than that. He kicked it out of bounds on the full. So Prout chips to Tucker. Brew got there a little late. 3-time reigning best and fairest Dom Brew for Werribee, one of the genuine stars of the competition. And Tucker puts it straight down the throat of Cuomo, where you said you wanted him to be safe in defence, Goldie. That was very safe, and it worked out to Donegan. He was playing the percentages there in a way, was big AJ Cuomo, but maybe not in the way that Dan Lowther would have drawn up.
Perfect hit out almost to his teammate right there, straight to advantage.
Contest the ruck here against Riley. As Goldie said pre-game, 53 hit-outs last week for big Flynn Riley in that loss to the Giants. 24 goals GWS kicked, and they kicked them from everywhere. Ryan Hebron kicked 5 to lead the line. Cooper Lord fights for it with Dom Brew, 2 hard nuts going head-to-head. It's interesting, Carlton's dip in form at VFL levels coincided with their rise at AFL level. So they won the one game against Footscray after the change of coach at AFL level, but with the uncertainty and I guess the unsettling nature of some personnel changes at VFL level, they just haven't been able to string it together in more recent times. Losing to Coburg, Geelong, Essendon, and then the Giants last week by 69 points. Here comes Werribee once more. Charlson protected the drop. And so he will earn a free kick. This is Lockie Charlson, the elder of the two brothers, about 18 months older than Harry. Kicks to full forward. Almost out the back there for Simpson, who was mobbed immediately.
Don't mind that free kick from Boyd. You know that if you make front-on contact, you're always going to give away a free kick, but it's almost a professional free kick. He knew that if the ball was going inside 50, his defence would be vulnerable. So it just gives them an opportunity to set up, get mids and numbers back inside 50.
He's got some guile in his game, Jordan Boyd, as we've seen a couple of times already this morning. The exiting kick here is cut off by Clark for Werribee. He thumps it to full forward. Get a chance for the Bees. It went through the hands of Charlson. Little pop kick out to Tucker will work. So still yet to get a goal on the board in this opening term. The Blues, the 7 inside 50s thus far. Lewis Young trying to manufacture something out of defence. Boyd didn't have a lot to go to down the line. Now Moyer scoots past. Doesn't elect to take the short option. And the long one worked out. Logan Prout ahead of halfway. He got called to go, got caught. Up to half forward, Cousins. Now Brew. And they go into that ball control mode again. Here, Werribee. Ivasic. Pops it over the top to Tulio, to Riding, who of course trained with Hawthorn in the pre-season, almost earned a supplementary spot that went the way of Flynn Perez, who was back into the Hawks team last night that beat the Giants. Here's Young, Charlson, Di Pasquale along the boundary line. He's got the numbers in the corridor and the mark. Barsettle has dragged it in on the second grab.
Could have been Busuttil, it could have been White. They were lining up for it there, Werribee.
One of their recruits in the off-season coming across from Essendon. 5 goals from his 8 games so far this season. This for a third for Werribee, and to establish a 3-goal break in this opening term. It was an arm wrestle early, Goldie, but the Bees have really established the control of the contest.
Yeah, and you can just see just the areas that probably Carlton are lacking in, with the lack of tools, the lack of quality that they've got through their side at the moment. It's just finding it really hard to find that last entry inside 50 or that last little bit of finishing touch. So Werribee have done well just to get the momentum.
One mark, one kick, one goal for Barsettle in the early going. It looks like he's been rotated onto the footy here.
He's a very honest player, Jordan, the way he goes about his footy.
And he's got the assignment on Ollie Hollands at the moment. Those two getting physical behind the contest here. Here is Barsettle, who got taken high by Fogarty, who was the man he reached over the top of to take the mark. So that's 1 up and then 2 up on Lockie Fogarty. Whacks it inside the arc, and that's a good mark from Harry Charlson, who turned 20 yesterday. Hollands to Young, the Werribee Premiership player out of Newtown in Geelong. Plied his trade with the Bees in that 2024 Premiership season, taken in the 2025 mid-season draft to the Blues. Hollands has turned it over. He let himself down with that kick. Pavlidis back the other way. And Di Pasquale went with the little sort of back-of-the-hand throw. It almost worked out for him, a free kick. It's going to be a stoppage instead.
I think it might have just come off his thigh rather than lower leg.
Cornwall works his way to the front. You can hear the cries of 30 seconds from the bench. Carlton don't want to concede one here. Werribee would love another one from this final forward foray. 3 goals to the good. Werribee in this opening term. Riley controls it down, just tries to blast it out of there. An opportunity here for Pavlidis to Brew from 45. Left foot kick across the face. And they will get to quarter time with some safety, Carlton. But the scoring done all by Werribee in that opening term. And they lead at quarter time. 3-3 to 3 behinds to kick off your Super Saturday on Fox. Amid the chill and the fog, it's the kind of morning that demands physical football. That's what we've seen in the opening term. Some bone-crunching tackles, that an absolute beauty from Will Reinhold. And it Quarter time, it is Werribee out by 3 straight kicks, 3-3 to 3 behinds. Joel Peterson, Todd Goldstein, Geordie Allen and Drew Jones with you as the Bees got going in that opening term. We highlighted in pre-game, Geordie, Brady Wright was the man who led the charge with 2 in the first quarter. Yes,
incredibly efficient he has been. 4 disposals, a couple of goals himself. He's awarded a free kick from a ruck contest. We know that he has been absolutely flying lately, but he's absolutely crucial to this Werribee team. We've mentioned the decimated D50 defending abilities of the Blues, so no doubt he'll continue to put the pressure on as the game goes on.
They're the best clearance team in the competition, renowned for their contest work. Goldie in this Werribee team, but the clearance is actually +1 in favour of Carlton in that opening quarter. How did you see the battle of the midfields?
Yeah, it's actually very close, and I think Werribee obviously are very good at that, and they've been able to win the hit-outs, which was the biggest surprise. Everything, they're winning 13-8 in the hit-outs, so you'd think their clearance game will start to get better as the game goes on, but Carlton, they need a match in the clearances because they don't have the tools around the ground to kick it to in a contest. They need to get out of that and get some uncontested possessions.
Of course, the Blues AFL team preparing to take on West Coast a little bit later today. We'll send you there next on Fox Footy. Ollie Hollands with 8 in that opening term. Sam Donegan leading the way for Werribee with 10. Darcy Tucker, or with 8, I should say. Darcy Tucker with 10 to lead all comers on the ground. And a couple of those key forwards, Hudson O'Keefe, who's stationed up front, really hasn't had a look at it so far in the game and hasn't had his hands on the footy in a meaningful way so far for Carlton. So they trail by 18 points, trying to avoid a 5th loss in a row. Werribee trying to win a 5th game in a row, already inside the top 3 and trying to cement their status in that part of the ladder. Let's get the Carlton side of things. Their coach, Damien Truslove, is with Drew.
Thank you, Joel. Damien, behind on the scoreboard, how did you feel about the first quarter, though?
Yeah, I said to the boys, for 23 minutes, our effort was fantastic, and we wanted that after a poor performance last week. We really wanted to be physical and put a lot of defensive pressure on, and I thought we did that well. We dropped away a little bit late, but hopefully we can reset and get going here.
What's your messaging been like going into the game? 4 straight losses, been a while between drinks. What do you want to see from the players today?
Yeah, we want to get back to our system and doing it well, and obviously effort and scrap and fight, and obviously defence first. We know Werribee are in good form, so it's a good challenge for us.
Coach, appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Drewza. Thanks to Damien for sharing a little bit of his time with us. I think Toddy certainly would have, as he said, he saw that effort for the majority of that opening term.
Yeah, and he would have really wanted a response. I think he would have liked a little bit of reward for that effort for them early on, because it is hard to keep buttering up on the bad performance last week, to keep getting that same energy because of that from the players. So they'll need a bit of reward early, or it's going to start to lose its emphasis.
One of the great things about VFL footy is the spectators get the opportunity to walk out there and listen to the huddles as well. And it's these are wide wings here at IKON Park, Geordie. It takes a little while to get over the other side of the grounds.
It certainly does. I think it's a great deck. If I was a spectator, I'd absolutely go out and have a listen. But yeah, unfortunately, they're just wide wings.
Just taking a little while to find their seats once more on that city side of the ground. Underway here in this second term. Charlie Lazaro, critical as always to everything Werribee have done. 7 disposals in that opening term, a couple of score involvements. He whacks it inside the 50 there. Sard trying to bounce off half-back. Up and under with the kick. Logan's been impressive in the early stages. Flicked it straight up to Qual Munn there. And then a kick on the outside of the boot from Jalen Pavlidis. Slides out of bounds on the full. So as Drew told us pre-game, Zach Williams, the late out, so the carryover emergency for the Blues AFL team this afternoon. Sard's been caught on the hop there, had to get rid of it immediately, kicked it straight to Brew. Brew tries to shape something inside the arc. White. They bump bodies once more. Lazaro to the pocket. Wright comes across. Moyer was there. Intercepts for Carlton. Young. Chesser. Back to Young, kicks off the last line. And Fogarty stepping through, takes it cleanly. Now the Blues can generate some run coming back the other way and make something happen off the counter-attack. Hollands' handball wasn't as clean as he'd like it to be. Hogg forced to track it down out wide. And then Lord got caught by Clark and wasn't going anywhere.
Again, we see them transitioning out. They seem to not have a problem rebounding, but once they get to the middle arc, they're looking ahead and they're probably not seeing the representation from their forwards because they've over-indexed on getting up the ground. They just need to bide their time. You can see them trying to chain the ball out by hands to buy the forward some time to lengthen and make the ground really big.
Great to have the insights of Collingwood's AFLW best and fairest from a couple of seasons ago, Geordie Allen, alongside 345 gamer Todd Goldstein this morning on Fox Footy. Riley in front there, of course, taken by the Blues at this year's mid-season draft.
It's very rare you see them call it a boundary throwing back to re-throw it in.
That one had just a little bit more juice on it. Not decisively, but did the job. Bruce kick up toward half forward. Bouncing ball for Sard, who makes it a bouncing ball when he took possession. Boyd, now Moyer. Again, that hand pass almost came unstuck, but Lord was good enough to get it to Chesser. Chesser drops it inside the arc. O'Keefe made the contest. Young almost slipped over, got it to Hollands, who got crunched by Cousins. Again, some hard physical stuff, which we love to see. Qualman. Riley throws his boot at it. Young got taken high and will get the free. It's socket off the ground in the meantime, and it's going to be paid a goal. So it will count. Socket through by Payer. Flynn Young earned the hard work, got the free kick, and the Blues take the advantage.
I really like the way that they're chaining up by hands through the centre, Carlton. That might be their avenue to goal. They had, in the first quarter, they only had 23 handball receives, and they've got 9 this quarter so far. So they seem to be putting the Werribee defence under pressure when they move it by hands.
Sam Payer, one of those two VFL Premiership players with Werribee that's out there for the Blues this morning alongside Flynn Young, so both involved in that passage of play, standing alongside Sam Azai. They played in that 2024 grand final against Southport here for Werribee. Back-to-back grand finals for the Bees. A little bit of a down season last year, and they've bounced back in a big way already this campaign. And it's 7-11 last season. Already got the 7 wins on the board so far in 2026. Blues with their first goal of the game. Trying to get a foothold in the contest. Riley chased it down. Just had the size to be able to release the hand pass over the top. Logan with another important disposal for Carlton. Lord scrubs his kick inside the 50. It was handled really well by Farah. What a beautiful, clean piece of play. To Chesser, to Young. One against the old mob for Flynn.
Once again, you can just see this by Carlton, the ability to use the hands, play on, take the game on. There's an unbelievable pick up there. But with the smaller forward line, the lack of tools, I think this is the way to going forward, as Geordie said before. And Young had a few things to say to his teammate, his ex-teammate Post, which you like to see.
First goal of the game for Flynn Young. Maybe the best bit of play we've seen from the Blues so far this morning there. As always, there's plenty happening on the fields around Princes Park. A little bit of soccer happening out the back. The tennis courts are just off to the left of screen there as well. Quite often people playing like ultimate frisbee out the back behind our cameras as well, Geordie. There'll be about 3 million dogs running around this morning too. Probably a few park runners. The stragglers like me might be finishing up at this point of the morning. Tucker out of the middle. Here's Gresham. Tyson Gresham, first game of the season. Younger brother of Essendon's Jade. Part of their NGA. Draft eligible last year. Kicks deep. Cousins got it to White, who gave it back to Cousins, and they can't keep it in. Tucker with his 11th disposal to send it inside the 50. Cooper Lord, another who spent some time at AFL level this year for the Blues, played 3 games earlier in the season. signed a contract extension in the early part of the year as well. Just can't earn his way back into Josh Fraser's team at the moment. That is firing on all cylinders with an opportunity for a 6th straight win. A little bit later this afternoon against the Eagles to get them to 7-8 on the season. Here's Harry Charlson. Taken to the 2024 rookie draft, 2nd year on the Blues list. Qualman decisively. That's what you want your big fella doing, Goldie.
Absolutely, he's got himself to some pretty good spots so far. A couple of spoils, and finally nice to get one in the midst.
Ryan Ayres, long down the line. Pearce made the contest. Blues back in possession, but they give it away to Donegan. Simpson. Kicks up to half forward, and Young got the critical fist in there on right to knock the footy loose. We'll get another look at it here, Lewis Young. Sends it back by hand to Boyd, and Carlton can start to transition the ball back again. They've had all the play in this second term thus far, the Blues. Hollands combines with Lord, out wide to Charlson. Chesser. And here they get it to half forward. Now the critical kick from Young. Prout was the target, kept it alive, dragged over the boundary line. Again, another strong tackle in the early stages of this game. 5 inside 50 so far this quarter for Carlton. Delivered them a couple of goals. Werribee yet to open their account since quarter time. Tucker. Charlson on the edge of the 50. It's a neat kick, a good bit of delivery, and read beautifully in flight by Hollands.
Carlton are looking really decisive, just able to use by hands when they need to. We saw them chain it outside of D50 along the open side there by foot. So their ability to access all the different parts of their game has been really evident this quarter.
Goes back into the mix after Hollands tried to get rid of it. He wasn't confident with his ability from the journey, and he's had to go back and play a little bit of defence to try and drag the footy back into his grasp.
Maybe I shouldn't have used the word decisive there.
Yes. Yeah, that's certainly what Ollie Hollands wasn't on that occasion. Just got a bit betwixt and between. And ultimately they get from the opportunity to have a set shot from 45 out. It's a turnover, and the footy's back in the hands of Cooper White. Spent some time on Geelong's list a couple of seasons ago. Lockie Charlson. Back to White. Now to Louis Pinnock, one of the stars of the competition. 21 disposals, 10 marks last week. Just continues to rack them up. Lovely kick out wide from Ayres. Finds Clark. Skipper waits for an option to emerge. Send it up toward right. Simpson out the back. Sard along the boundary line. Bashes it back in Carlton's direction. Almost the one-hander there for Clark. Gresham fought hard. Lord. Campriali threw a boot at it out toward the boundary line. Need to be careful in this spot here. Prout just surged the handball forward. Duffy back into traffic. Moyer slaps it on. And Newton stands in the way. See on your screen there how much they've dominated territory and possession here in this second term. Carlton setting up for another surge. Boyd to Harvey. Chesser measured it nicely for Hogg, but Pinnock was up to the task and just pinched it off him. And now here come the Bees. Charlson overcooked the kick. He was looking for Pearce. Had options out the back. Tullio's so creative, ball in hand. Lazaro. Simpson with a fumble. He got jumped on immediately. Logan will have another crack here. Simpson came over the top of him. Tulio's tackled by a couple. And the footy is locked up. It's desperate stuff at the moment.
The work rate has been immense from Carlton so far. Werribee have dominated uncontested possessions the last month, so they're really working hard to make sure that's taken out.
Will Reinhold, so dealing with a little bit of an ankle complaint. He was the late in for Zach Williams for the Blues this morning.
And just on that point there, we heard from the Werribee coach, Damien Truslove, he really loved their defensive pressure, and he felt that that was the one thing that was able to keep him in the game in that first quarter. They've definitely gone to another level here. They look so organised when the ball's held up, and when it's in a live play, they're able to scrap and fight. And he used the word effort and grit, and that's absolutely what we've seen from the Blues this quarter so far.
Chain it by hand again. Done this well so far in this second term. Tucker almost had it taken away by Tulio. Back onto it. Smashes it to half forward. Louis Pinnock with a fantastic mark. And it's not been paid. Pressure might have had a hand in there, according to the umpire. So Werribee didn't have a ruck ready. Flynn Riley with one of the more decisive hit-outs he'll have for the day. Heard the cries of kick it. Nice gather from Paya. Young, Hollins, handball, sold Young into traffic. Grabbed by Cousins, got his legs free, just couldn't get the handball away. Charleston deep in defence for Werribee. Simpson. And some good work from Boyd to knock it out of the grasp of Di Pasquale.
Werribee need to find their way back into the game from a disposals perspective. Carlton have had the ball 69 times and Werribee only 34, so they've hardly touched it. Every second disposal is going to a Carlton player. There's not much you can do to mount an offence when you don't have the ball in your hands.
Minus 26 in those uncontested possessions. Trailing in the contested part of the game. This time the Bees do get their hands on it. Di Pasquale over the top. Right. Had a couple breaking for him inside the forward 50. That's a clever kick in the end to Elliott. Elliott's marked right on the 50. And then his delivery inside the arc wasn't what it needed to be. And Di Pasquale turns around in frustration. You see Will Reinhold still getting some work on that. Sort of the back of the calf, the Achilles area. And in a little bit of discomfort, it's fair to say.
Yeah, you love to hate those sorts of trainers, the ones that make you grimace, but you always feel better for it.
Get the job done. They'll toss back in. Hollins emerges with it. Elliott has had a little bit of a size advantage on Gresham, to say the least. Clever work. Elliott off to Donegan. Donegan to the pocket. Front spot. A powerful contested mark for Anthony Di Pasquale. And he wants to go on with it with Jordan Boyd. He just backed the truck up, Goldie.
Yeah, once again, it's just incredibly great forward craft there, just to be able to hold that front position and let the ball just drop into that breadbasket.
As you said earlier, his first game for the season for Werribee last week. Missed a shot in the opening term. Can he make amends here and get Werribee's first of the second quarter? Absolutely he can. And Werribee stretches that lead back out to 2 kicks.
A really important goal as well, I think, is when you play a side that's undermanned, not in great form, you just don't want to give them that little bit of impetus to stay in the game. So it's really important that Werribee now can try and get a bit of momentum back.
That hurts if you're Carlton too. They've had the momentum for the entirety of this quarter, and in a matter of moments, they've stretched the margin back out to 12.
It's a bit like the coach said in the first quarter, though. 23 minutes, they were really good. Here it's been 16 minutes, they've been really good. It's now important they finish off their good work in the rest of this quarter.
7 coaches' votes last week for Anthony Di Pasquale. Very talented goal kicker. Kicked 73 for Kai Abram a couple of years ago in the Golden Valley League. He's got his first of the morning here. Elliott into the ruck this time against Riley. So they're throwing a few bodies at Big Flynn. Don Brew with the clearance. Bounces his kick out wide. Good body work from Prout. And he ran into a couple of Werribee players. Xavier Ivicic, one of those. Massimo Razzo has been quiet so far, hasn't had a disposal. As we said, hasn't found his groove as yet as a Werribee player. Waiting for it to come out here. And again, he's dragged down immediately. Riley, crafty little hit back over his head. So Darcy Tucker with the tackle. Always been known for his hard work around the contest, the Horsham product. Spent quite a few seasons on Fremantle's list before 3 years at North Melbourne. Hollins down the line, Payer gathered it up, just slipped out of his grasp as he tried to handball it away. Donegan got dragged down. There's not a lot of room to breathe at the moment for these two teams. Hollins found a little bit of space. Tucker just jams it on the boot. Do a one-on-one inside the 50. Bounces past Young. Cousins was there. Young did well. Forced it back into a neutral. Ball on the deck inside forward 50 for the Blues. Cousins slaps it out to Tullio. And now they come outside the defensive 50. Simpson's kick out wide. Tracked down by Di Pasquale. Riding. Didn't have a lot to go to immediately. Got spun around. Gives some grounds. And the decision was a sound one. Mazzai will come all the way back inside the defensive 50 and they can start the rebound here, Werribee. Donegan up to disposal number 12. Benches watch on. Stubbed his toe a little bit with the kick, but worked out. Xavier Ivicic kicks to the pockets. Right! It was right on the money for Brady. And he'll have a kick on the tight angle.
Beautiful entry there by Ivicic. Basically Wright and Di Pasquale were both lining up for it. If it wasn't Brady Wright standing in front of Di Pasquale, then maybe Di Pasquale might have had a few words about it. Good man to have the balls, the ball in their hands.
And finishes beautifully. Brady Wright's got 3. Werribee's got a 3-goal lead, and we are back to where we started at quarter time.
Well, he's the difference at the moment, isn't he? 3 goals, the difference, 3 goals to Brady Wright. He just seems to pop up whenever Werribee need him, and they very much wrestled the momentum back into their hands. Carlton, we can't doubt their endeavour and their grit. We heard from Truslove, he was complimentary of his team in the first quarter, but there's only so much that you can do when you're coming up against a system that is pretty sound.
So 3 for Brady Wright. They're always going to be under siege in defence, Drew, and things have just got a little bit worse for the Blues.
Yeah, unfortunately for Will Reinhold, it's last in and first to leave. Calf injury, you can see getting strapped up with ice there. He's tried a couple of run-throughs, had some treatment, no dice, so expect he'll be out for the rest of the game.
Not good news for Will Reinhold. Played for 3 clubs already this year. He's been for a busy boy. He's played for Temora in the Farrer League, Yarrawonga in the O&M, and a few games for Carlton at the VFL level as well. Couple of time Farrer League best and fairest winner, so comes with very good credentials, and unfortunately we won't see any more of him this morning. Fogarty to Lord. Werribee by 3 kicks. Riley at right half forward. Big fella just shoots the handball out wide. Chesser to a really dangerous spot. Ryan Ayres tried to punch it into approximately 2 weeks from now, and Werribee rush it through for a minor score. I think he was trying to punch that ball back to Werribee. He just didn't get the required purchase on it.
They must have spoken about soft drops.
Yeah.
Yes. If that dropped, that was going to be a very hard drop. Might have been like the old-fashioned bounce, which we've got rid of. Ryan Ayres is trying to institute it at full back. Logan for the Blues off the turnover. 50. A little bit of work by Jalen Pavlidis. Shows him the step and then the classy delivery. And Anthony Di Pasquale could learn a thing or two. Carlton kicked the opening 2 goals of the term. Werribee the 2 most recent. Combined for 4 goals, 1 in this quarter. So the scores haven't been easy to come by, but both teams have been accurate with their opportunities in this quarter. Charleston to Tucker. Tucker sets it up. And Riley had his name written all over that. And it's head in hands type stuff for Big AJ.
I think you want that time again, I think. Goulmont, you just want to take the body rather than just worrying about the ball.
Played 6 games for the Blues this season. 1 goal for Big Flynn Riley. Named it as emergency this week, so feels like he's pressing for his opportunity at the top level. And he'd want a mulligan with that shot. Out of bounds on the full. He dragged it all the way across.
I think that's a big area of improvement. He's only kicking for the season at 26% kicking efficiency, so he really needs that up if he wants to play AFL level.
A turnover forced by the Blues here. Young. Campriali to the pocket. And O'Keefe latches onto it. Good presence of mind to come back and locate the footy again. And this is a tough assignment for Hudson O'Keefe. It'll be his first kick of the day.
Beautiful mark there.
So a quarter and a half in. It's a cold morning, and you haven't touched the footy as yet, and you get a shot from behind the boundary line. What does Hudson do with it? Just didn't have the carry.
Tell you what, if there's a goal that's going to get you up and about and get you in a game, it's a snap from the pocket. Just thinned that one a little bit.
So plenty of opportunities in this second term for the Blues. And Werribee finding it hard to exit this part of the ground. Riding, making it look a little bit easier there. Links up with Lazaro. Brew, dangerous hand pass. Duffy was awake to it. Ryan Ayres with the one-handed gather was very clean indeed. Ayres crashes into Logan. And then he sought the safety of the boundary line. Umpire will say, give it to me. Trying to surge it across like he was looking at the try line. Ryan Ayres. Busts it all through his boot at it. Campriali, Riley, Hollins with the little hand fake was clever. Charleston. Numbers there with Werribee. It's a mark or a free kick to Clark. And just positions himself so well. Such an intelligent defender is Jesse Clark. Werribee led by 18 points at quarter time. By 16 at the moment. A good defensive effort there from Liam Farah, who kicked 3 last week, coming into the Blues team. He's another who's got a bag of 10 on the season so far for Diamond Creek against West Preston earlier in the campaign. See the spectators dotted in the grandstand here at IKON Park. Cool, cloudy, foggy morning here in Carlton. Blues and the Eagles doing battle at AFL level. We'll take you there a little bit later on here on Fox as part of Super Saturday. Fogarty, high kick inside the 50. Hudson O'Keefe tracks it back. Might have to do his work at ground level. Logan was there to pressure Clark, and they do get a forward 50 stoppage here, the Blues.
Well done there by Clark not to take possession and just fumble it over. It's the professionalism. It's like those professional free kicks, the professionally finding the boundary there.
Couldn't be a more vulnerable position than running back towards your goal, outnumbered.
Stuff of nightmares.
Flynn Young emerges through the contest, throws it on his boot. O'Keefe has Hollands in support. Tight to the boundary line. That was training yard type stuff for Ollie Hollands, and he couldn't make it work. Werribee might be able to get to half-time unscathed here. 4 goals in the quarter. And 3 in the opening term. Might be a great deal of time left in this opening term. Jack Riding making it look a little bit more difficult than it needed to be.
A bit cooler than it needed to be.
He's just going for style points, I reckon.
I think so.
A little bit like in cricket when you take an unnecessary dive when you take the catch. Generally get a fine for that kind of behaviour, so I'm not sure what the policy is at Werribee. And then a little bit of cool points from the big ruck. We love to see that Goldie with the Saturday Night Fever style slide from big Flynn Riley.
He was well aware of that too, I reckon.
He knew what he was doing. That's a lovely kick from Saad. He just lashes it out to Lucas Campriali. Didn't want to get on the left peg that time. Hollands inside the 50. One last chance for the Blues. And O'Keefe's got it again.
Lovely body work there by Hudson O'Keefe. He only did his work really early. You could see just in the background him get that early movement onto his opponent and hold him up and protect that space really, really well.
So he missed one from the same pocket, tighter angle, closer in. This from right on the 50. Approaching half-time. O'Keefe puts his foot into it, and it will only just sneak in for a minor score. So they could have been a fair bit closer, the Blues. Now Werribee just don't want to make a mistake with the exit. Newton off the hands, rode nicely by Ivasic. Busuttil up to Riding, tried to keep it moving. And Carlton cut out a charge toward half-time from Werribee, who led by 18 points at quarter-time. The Blues kicked the opening 2 goals of the second term to get it back to a 1-goal ball game. Werribee then bounced back with a couple in the opposite direction. And we get to half-time with a 15-point lead in a low-scoring affair. It's been hard to come by in this first half. 5-3 plays 2-6. So for all the defensive problems we thought they might have, Geordie, this Carlton team's done a pretty good job of keeping Werribee quiet.
Yeah, and I think because it's been a team defense mentality rather than just allowing the back six to weather the storm, and I think that's been led by their mids, the pressure that they've been able to apply to Werribee in the middle of the ground and maintaining the ball in their front half. That was a feature of that quarter there, and it's alleviated some of that pressure that's on a weaker defensive unit.
They controlled plenty of territory in that second term, did Carlton, and ended up kicking 2 goals, 3 for the quarter to Werribee's 2 straight. So could have had a few more opportunities. Jesse Clark's been pivotal. 2 things down back for Werribee. He's alongside Drew.
Thank you, Joel. Skipper, 15-point lead at half-time. What have you made of the fellas' performance in the first half?
Nah, happy with it for the time being. I think it's been pretty scrappy affair from both sides for halves, I think. But, yeah, I think this second half it might open up a little bit and hopefully we can be the first team to sort of get our ball movement flowing and get on top.
They keep hanging around, don't they, Blues? 4-game winning streak for you guys. What do you need to do in the second half?
Oh, they're a quality side, so we expect them to hang with us and challenge us right to the end. So, yeah, I think what has been good this year, I think we've finished games relatively well. So if we can put the foot on the throat next half and really get our ball movement going, I think we'll put ourselves in good stead.
Big fella with 3 up forward. He's in the rich fame of form, isn't he?
Yeah, he's hard to stop at the moment. So hopefully, gets a few good looks second half and we'll be right.
Good on you, mate. Good luck.
Perfect. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it.
Drew Jones with Jesse Clark. Brady Wright's got 3 of their 5 so far. Werribee, and it is the Bees who lead by 15 points. VFL action as part of your Super Saturday on Fox. Unfortunately for Will Reinhold, it's an early finish to his day. The Bees hoping they can roll onto a 5th straight W with Geordie and Goldie's thoughts on the other side of this. It's been a physical start here at IKON Park. VFL action as part of your Saturday on Fox. And it's been a low-scoring first half. Ollie Hollands has been busy for the Blues. Brady Wright's been the main focal point up front for Werribee. He's had some help from Anthony Di Pasquale. Hudson O'Keefe with a couple of late chances. Couldn't latch onto either. And it is the Bees by 15 points at half-time. Just 5 goals in the opening half for them. Carlton conceded at least 5 goals in every quarter last week. So a much better defensive performance for the Blues so far. Todd Goldstein and Geordie Allen to run their eyes over the first half. And it's sort of been a half of 2 quarters in the sense that Werribee dominated the possession in the territory in the first quarter, Geordie, and then it was Carlton's turn to do the same in the second. Yeah, absolutely. And I thought that in the second quarter, a feature of Carlton's game which really brought them into it was their handball receives. In the first quarter, they were -8. They were plus 25 handball receives in that quarter, which disallowed Werribee to utilise the footy. Unfortunately, they were able to find the goals on an even amount of time. So that's just the class and the polish of Werribee, and the unfortunate going forward and kicking goals, that really hurt a Carlton defence, which I thought worked really, really hard and tirelessly for the majority of that second quarter. Brady Wright kicked his third here. At the other end, though, Goldie, Carlton got a fair few good looks in that second term. Yeah, no, they'll take great confidence out of that aspect, that they were able to bring their contested game, really dominate Werribee on a side that's been pretty good in that area over the last month. So they'll take a lot of confidence, but they just need players like Hudson O'Keefe. They're really key listed players just to stand up and take their opportunities. And you can see Charlie Lazaro there, right of screen, a man that you played alongside, Todd, and he's having a fine performance again this morning. He's having a great game with 14 disposals, but I think he'd like to get his contested game up a bit more. He's only got the 6 contested possessions. Usually he's about 50-50, or a fraction more contested possession. So you want to get that up and just the 2 clearances. So he's got another level he can go to at this stage, I think, and he will have a big second half. It feels like Werribee's midfield as a whole's got another level. We're dead equal for contested possessions. They're -4 in terms of clearance in this first half as well. So a little bit of wiggle room for the Bees, and Carlton will be hoping that their 2-goal 6 can be turned into a few more profitable opportunities in this second term. Werribee by 15 points. We'll take a look at what is to come across a big Super Saturday here on Fox Footy on the other side of this. Blues trail by 15 points. VFL action as part of your Super Saturday live on Fox Footy. Of course, their AFL team coming up against the West Coast at Marvel Stadium as part of your coverage this afternoon. They got the game more on their terms, as we spoke about in that second quarter. And Ollie Hollands, who's playing just his second VFL game for the season, Goldie. He's been a big part of when they've been able to take the game forward. He's been a real driving force.
Yeah, his work rate's been huge with 18 disposals. He's just popping up everywhere. He's also got the 4 tackles, so he's put himself in good spots to get involved. And generally, when he gets the ball, they get their ball movement going and comes opportunities for their forwards.
There's been a couple of occasions where there's that last disposals maybe come unstuck, but he's certainly been able to set up a few attacking chains, and particularly important off the counter-attack for them, Geordie.
100%. There's someone that they look for him. We saw a few times he was running past for a handball receive. They know that he can make things happen when he's got the ball in his hands. So someone that they look for to take the ball forward, absolutely.
Of course, the rest of your Super Saturday on Fox, it is a stacked lineup. So Carlton West Coast is where we will send you next. Collingwood Richmond at the MCG. And then the showdown that's got the state of South Australia at fever pitch, as always, at the Adelaide Oval tonight. Port Adelaide and Adelaide. Fremantle Gold Coast, the late game tomorrow. A bit of bounce and first crack, but the real feature is the Todd Goldstein Cup between North Melbourne and Essendon. Who's going to take that out, Goldie?
Well, it's a really important game for both sides. I think Essendon will see themselves an opportunity to try and chalk up a win, and North Melbourne, it's a game where their supporters will be looking as they should win it. So it's actually going to be a fascinating game, I think.
A very diplomatic answer from you, and I know that you're tipping Essendon. Don't worry about that in that game tomorrow. So that's your Super Sats, your Sunday ticket on Fox. Second half is on the other side of this. It is Werribee by 15 points. just about set for the second half here at IKON Park. Cloudy skies, a little bit of fog around this morning as well. It's a chilly morning, but Werribee lead by 15 points at half-time. A lead that has been hard fought for, 5-3 to 2-6. Joel Peterson, Geordie Allen and Todd Goldstein with you. Drew Jones is boundary side. And Drew, plenty of talent in this Werribee team. They've had plenty of players that have made it to the top level in recent years.
Certainly have, Joel. So 10 AFL players have come out of the Werribee program over the last 8 years. Sean Manor doing his stuff in Geelong, and Riley Bice, just to name a couple. Of course, Michael Barlow, one of the most famous mature age products to come out of Werribee. I was chatting to Michael yesterday and he said, Drew, keep an eye on Brady Wright, and he hasn't let us down, has he? So 3 goals today. He's got 29 for the season. 22-year-old from Darley. That's Zach Butters' country in Victoria, and I'm told a very, very strong chance to be in the AFL system next season. Michael Barlow also said, keep an eye on Mace Cousins today. He said he's underrated, he's got high footy IQ, courageous, classy. Think a more contested Riley Bice. And then I think we've all been impressed today with Jalen Pavlidis off half-back, number 34. Pretty classy operator. So just a few names to keep an eye on from this Werribee side.
Good little nuggets, Drew. Thank you, Brady Wright and Mace Cousins, both out of Darley. Mace played in a Ballarat League premiership for the Devils last year. So plenty of talent in this Werribee team. No doubt about that. Of course, Charlie Lazzaro's been on North Melbourne's AFL list as well. There is a lot to like about the way they're going about it. And even someone like AJ Kwalmun, who's still only 23 years of age. He's probably only ever played about 50 games of footy. Dom Brew's been around the place forever and 29 years of age. So it just shows, Todd, that there's a lot of different ways you can go about your journey, and that Werribee's been a big part of it for a lot of really handy players over the time. Yeah,
exactly. And it's just great to see that there's not one way to get drafted these days, not one way to have an AFL career, and a lot of these guys at a mature age are having real impacts at the AFL level now.
There is Big AJ, punched over, ready to crash into Flynn Riley to start the second half here at IKON Park. The sun has again broken through the clouds. And as we saw plenty of in the first half, it's Ollie Hollands who gets the Blues moving. Lucas Campriali up to Lockie Fogarty. Off to Campriali, kicks to the pocket. Moya the target this time. A couple of South Australians linking up. And Jesse Clark is right there with him.
It's only their second centre bounce clearance for the game, Carlton.
2 rucks wander over. Kwalmun and Riley. Big AJ dropped it somewhere near his boot, didn't connect with it. Again, it's Clark who'll pick himself up last off the deck. Old one has an almighty fresh airy. Donegan fights for it. Fogarty in over the top as well. Brew can't extract it. And then you don't want Flynn Riley falling on you quite like that. It was a gentle coming to ground for the big fella. All 206 centimetres of Flynn Riley going up against 204 of AJ Kwalmun. Fogarty's got good goal sense. Hand pass back this time to Hogg. To Moya, just the distance. And Ashton Moya's paid the mark.
Writing still arguing that it might not have been 15 metres, maybe 14.5.
Caught me on the guard, I must say, Geordie. The boys on bounce will be taking a look at that for the longest kick of the weekend anytime soon. Ashton Moya, such a talent, played either end of the ground. Arcs out to the right here for the first goal of the second half. And he left his set shot to the near side.
It can't have been 15 metres, but I've never seen an umpire change his mind after he's paid it.
So Carlton ahead on scoring shots here, 2-7 to 5-3, where Werribee just been a bit more accurate at finding the 6 points.
Last 4 scores for Werribee have all been major ones. Last 4 for the Blues have been minor. So there's the contrast in the game at the moment. There's Pavlidis, who Drew spoke about. A neat user of the footy off half-back. Father-son through the Werribee system. Brother playing at Werribee Centrals as well. So good Werribee family. Brew kicks inside forward 50. Young goes to ground. Simpson got caught, elected not to get rid of it. Boyd wrapped him up. And we'll have a stoppage inside 50 for the Bees. Kick into the Legends stand end here in this third term. Just been the predominant scoring end. Carlton, of course, goalless to Royal Parade in the opening quarter. Donegan just busts his way through. Elliott and Pearce both in the contest. Free kick. And he's going in yellow and black. And it'll be big Elliott to take it. Goalless last week, Will Elliott, 18 on the season. 5 times so far this year he's kicked 2 or more. He's playing for the Northern Bull Ants last season, first year at Werribee. Strides in here for the first of the second half. The set shot is delightful. And that's the way that Dan Lowther would have wanted his Chargers to start after half-time.
That set shot routine was reminiscent of a bit of Jeremy Cameron there, the pumping both ends of the ball, checking which side's the fatter side than the other. But what a beautiful kick. He struck it so well. It's just in the right place at the right time.
It's funny how those things catch on, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a few players around the place that do that now. And I mean, I feel like Jezza might have been the OG for that.
Perhaps.
Do you ever go for that in your day, Todd?
I'm a ruckman, so I'm just happy for the ball hits my foot. I'm not really sure. I don't really care which end it is, to be honest.
A ruckman and a defender, I'm not exactly in the right company to ask for goal kicking tips here, am I?
No, we can only theorise.
I'll sneak you down forward this AFLW season, Geordie. No worry about that. Brew off to Pinnock, whacks it inside forward 50 for Werribee. We'll get another look here. Pearce chases Saad toward the boundary line. Sat awkwardly for the Blues in defence. Young to Boyd, who runs all the way back and then got pushed across the line. He's living dangerously today, Jordan Boyd. He's playing with a certain edge to his game. Free kick here to Werribee. Ayres. Pavlidis, beautiful delivery. He has used the footy so well today. And Brady Wright with an opportunity for number 4.
I think Rasso had every right to put his hands up for that. Someone who hasn't touched the footy today, sorry, one disposal today, is Brady Wright coming through, probably going to make way.
The hierarchy told there in the forward line. Wright's got 3 already. Another set shot here. That one leaks wide. And it is bashed across for a rushed score.
Rather, might just say, maybe it's my one next time, mate.
Yeah.
So 22 points the way of Werribee. Biggest lead that they've had in the game. Had it at 18 points a couple of times earlier on in the contest. Once in the first quarter and one in the second. Gresham, intelligent hand pass to keep it moving forward for Carlton. Lord got caught as he tried to get boot to ball. Pavlidis has been excellent. Tulio, back to Pavlidis. And now to Azai. Kicks to half forward and stretching to pull it in is Brady Wright again, who is giving Lewis Young absolutely what for in this contest. We knew this Carlton defence was going to have its work cut out. Brady Wright is making sure they do. Sends it to full forward. Elliott got upstairs. He couldn't drag it in. This time a chance for Razzo. And he gets buffeted over the boundary line. Lee Holland's getting back there for the defensive to support. You see on your screen he's had more of the footy than anyone else so far this morning. Trying to earn his place back at AFL level after 9 games with the first team. Chesser under pressure. Straight to Azai. He goes centrally and Moyer got there just a touch late, trying to knock it away from Jesse Clark. Build it up nicely here. Cooper White. Lazaro picks off a target inside the 50. Over the head of Di Pasquale. Elliott's there. Charlson for Carlton. Young got caught in two minds. Eventually got rid of it to Harry Charlson, who bounces it back the other way and finds Moyer. Important mark for Ashton. Just to release a little bit of pressure that Werribee was building. Collins will come inside the defensive 50. Dane Harvey. Where does he go with this kick? It's not his best. And Ivasic chops it off. And this pressure is really telling at the moment for Werribee. And then they get good looks inside 50 like that, as Will Elliott pulls it in out of the air.
The inside 50 count for Werribee is very quickly becoming lopsided. 7-2 so far. The 7-1 rather so far this quarter. Carlton just haven't had a look in.
And Elliott kicks further afield to Riding, who's closer to goal and deeper into the pocket. So the play started with the intercept from Ivasic. Jack Riding with an opportunity for his 13th goal of the campaign to give them a 28-point lead. He hits the fat side of the footy, and it'll dribble out for a throw-in. A little bit disappointed with the result. Best on ground last week, according to the coaches. Top 5 in the best and fairest last year for Jack Riding. He'll be right there when the whips are cracking again this season. O'Keefe working in defence now. Tried to clear the area. White had it slip through his grasp. Charlson combines with Moyer to send the Blues off half-back. It was either going to bounce out or bounce straight to a player in yellow. It was Louis Pinnock who was escorted across the boundary line.
I feel like it's a really important next 5-10 minutes for Carlton, just to get a little bit of momentum, just to keep them in touch.
Todd Goldstein, Geordie Allen with you, running their eyes across proceedings. Of course, Carlton playing West Coast. I'll send you there at the conclusion of our game this morning at AFL level at Marvel Stadium. The Blues trying to get a 6th win on the board in a row. Jordan Bustertal kicked a goal in that second term. He dashes away here. Sets up another forward 50 entry for Werribee. Wright rose highest, couldn't take it with him. Charlson sped through. Likewise couldn't gather. Now Riding flips it up to Charlson through the traffic. Desperate defence. It was brother on brother. A little bit of Charlson crime as Harry spoiled Lockie. Just like in the backyard in Ballarat back in the day. Younger brother got the one up that time. As-I standing start. Back to full forward. Elliott reaches in over the top. Great tackle, Razzo. Opportunity for Di Pasquale. And it was socked through for a rush score by Boyd. He's all Werribee at the moment. We didn't have a lot to go to. Came out wide for Ayres. You hear the cries of, yeah, Gary, as the ball seen across the boundary line. Werribee would love to really ram the advantage home here and put it on the scoreboard. They've got all the territory dominance at this stage. Campriali pops it into the middle. Young goes up to pull it in. Such a good pair of hands. Flynn Young. And he bites the kick off nicely. Lord takes the mark, got clattered into by Ryan Ayres, who might have been channeling a bit of Gary Ayres there with that. Ryan Ayres gives the free away. And Cooper Lord will be marched to the goal square. Mace Cousins having a bit to say. Meantime, after they missed a couple of opportunities at the other end, Werribee, Carlton come back the other way, and Cooper Lord keeps them close.
disappointing for Werribee, the team that has absolutely dominated this quarter. Carlton have really struggled to gain any territory in their forward half, and then to have the ball advance 50 metres. I was a bit concerned for a moment there whether a little bit of argy-bargy might have cost a reversal. You've got to be careful when you've worked so hard, or maybe not in this case Carlton, but they were gifted a 50-metre penalty, and you'd hate to see that reversal go the opposite way after really struggling to gain any ascendancy in this quarter.
Well, it was a pretty unlucky 50-metre penalty, though. It looked like it was a fraction late, but you would like to see the mark paid or the free kick paid and move on.
Lord, the beneficiary of it. And the Blues will get a centre clearance. As Goldie said earlier, they've been rare in this game so far for them. Tucker sent it to half forward. It'll come back the other way. Cousins, Azai, intelligent knock on by Razzo. And Brew just straight up stole it from his opponent. Riding, Pearce, Donegan, such a crafty player at ground level. Cousins got caught. It was a really good tackle in the end from Darcy Hogg. Sard sent it forward by hand. It'll come back though. Tumbling kick inside the 50 from Simpson through the hands of Wright. Di Pasquale out the back. Riding's there too. A little bit of miscommunication as to who was going to soccer it through.
Both of them trying to channel a little bit of the World Cup.
Absolutely. I feel like with the finish, the team they were playing for didn't make the knockout round that time. I'm not sure they were scoring too many goals with the particular approach to attack they went with there.
Didn't say they were channeling it well, just channeling it.
Yes. Instead of a bit of a Paraguay park the bus type setup. O'Keefe slaps it toward the boundary line. Campriali sees it across. Hollands, in fact, it was, pardon me. Hollands has been prolific in this game for Carlton. 13 listed players out there. No Zach Williams, who was a laid out, a carryover emergency for their AFL team. And Will Reinhold, who was his replacement, has also left the field with a calf concern. So one player down for the remainder here, the Blues. Farah kicks to half forward. They've got the numbers out the back. Big task here for Ryan Ayres. Needs to beat two. Moyer just willed himself to the footy. There's a bit of holding on. And the free will go the way of the Blue.
It's an awful feeling.
Yes. He was in a desperate spot there, was Ryan Ayres. Ashton Moyer beat him cold, and then the jumper tug was as clear as day. So Moyer for back-to-back goals here for Carlton as they continue to close the gap. And we are back to a two-kick ball game.
See, as the ball goes inside 50 here, I love that decision just to back the one-on-one ahead of the ball. I think at times Carlton, particularly in that first quarter, every single time they got the ball ahead of halfway, they were trying to find the perfect option rather than just putting the defence under pressure and forcing one of those long balls. And you never know what's going to happen. A jumper pull will award the opposition a free kick and bring Carlton within two kicks.
And Ashton has just lifted over the last 5 or 6 minutes. He's had 3 or 4 really important touches for the club, and they're just giving him a chance to get involved, which is what he wants.
As usual, we've seen him a little bit of everywhere so far in this game. So Blues with a couple in a row and a chance to send it forward here out of the middle as well. Making a bit of a surge in this game after Werribee dominated the territory earlier on in the quarter. Really good tackle there from Campbell Chesser to stop Nick Newton in his tracks. Riley boots a ball with a clearance. Bounces it up toward half forward. Pavlidis. And Newton had a hand in it again and again. Lockie Fogarty, who brings that pressure. More as a mid than a forward at VFL level so far this season when he has been in this grade. Another stoppage at half forward for Carlton, so now it's their turn to apply some relentless pressure.
Positive for Carlton here this quarter. They've had 10 clearances to Werribee's 2, so hopefully they can gain a little bit more territory ascendancy with the amount of clearances that they are having.
Number 1 clearance team in the comp, Werribee, both in terms of total amount and their differential across the course of the season. 41.5 a game, plus 9.5 in their contests.
It's come from Flynn Riley as well. He's had 5 hit-outs to advantage just in this quarter alone out of his 8 hit-outs, so it's a huge percentage.
What have you liked about his game so far today, Goldie?
Well, I think he's starting to work into it well, and he's made the most of when the second rucks have been in. Early on, he started to struggle, but now he's really starting to cash in on those opportunities.
Great to have the thoughts of All-Australian ruck Todd Goldstein alongside Geordie Allen, Collingwood's AFLW vice-captain on Fox Footy this morning. Drew Jones boundary side. Well, it's big Super Saturday on Fox coming up, Carlton and West Coast. So if you're a Blues fan, you do not need to leave the couch. And it's about 10 degrees outside still. Why would you? Umpire has paid the mark. There's an awkward little moment there for Charlson, who sort of dropped it as he went back to play on. Now he's going to have a chat to the umpire. It's going to be a ball up after all of that. Not quite sure why. I think Lockie Charlton certainly agrees. So from the ball up, Chesser to Fogarty. Carlton the beneficiaries of it. Here's Gresham tight to the boundary line. Tyson Gresham takes it on and misses. Much improved in this last 10 minutes for Carlton. We've seen Cody Walker at VFL level for the Blues so far this year. He injured his shoulder a couple of weeks ago with Vic Country. He was training with them earlier in the week, and so much expected of him with an eye to next year. Simpson up toward half forward, and a good intercept from Logan Prout, who can play equally adept football at both ends. Turns it over straight to Pavlidis. He wants to send it back inside forward 50 for Werribee. It'll get out the back. Boyd will be the first there, but Di Pasquale worked him off it. Boyd puts his head over it. Shovels it up. Prout, Sard tried to bounce it out of trouble. Chesser wasn't clean the first time. Eventually he reeled the footy in, and they've turned it over. Simpson kicks to the pocket. Easy pickings for Prout. Battled hard down back today, the Blues. Undermanned in that area of the grounds. Player down on the bench as well, with Will Reinhold coming out with injury. So if they are to hold on, it'll be a very determined display from here. That's a poor kick forward. Opened the door for Werribee. And then a little bit of holding on. So Jesse Clark will win it back at half-back. Kick count decidedly in favour of Werribee. A little bit happening off the footy there. Like maybe Taj Logan and Will Elliott got tangled up off the ball. To half forward. Nice bit of roving. Really cleverly done by Charlson. Went looking for Bussettle by hand. And Prout can again try and steer something out of defence for the Blues. Tyson Gresham. First game of the season after playing one late last year in his top age draft year. Sard to the dash of Boyd. Straight up the pipe for the Blues. Here's an opportunity out the back. Almost for Payer. Kick just didn't get there. And Ayres can mop up. Send it across to Pinnock, who's usually a steady hand out of defence. That time, not so. Lewis Young just led his opponent to the footy. It's been messy stuff in the last couple of minutes. Lord now wants to move it on. Kicks toward Riley. Qualmorn with some good body work.
Must have heard your coaching points then. Use the straight arms instead of the bent arms to win that mark there.
Very good call, Geordie. We saw AJ get himself in a little bit of trouble earlier in the game. Give away a free kick. Kraft on that occasion was very clean. Lazaro, White. Left foot kick to half forward. Coming up to chop it off was Prout. Shoveled it to Harvey. Wobbles it down the line through the hands of Brew. O'Keefe fights hard for it. Had the numbers against him, but his endeavour was sound and strong.
But the players are stoked to have a stoppage again. The ball was in motion for a good few minutes there, so to be able to reset, get back to the default setting and then go from there, it's always a good reprieve.
Just bounces out in front of Eli Pearce. He's had 4 touches on debut. Playing as a forward, plays most of his footy at Bell Park as a mid-forward. Stationed up front for Werribee this morning. Qualmorn has given away the free kick. Campriali won it. Lord, Duffy. Across half forward. Here's Moyer. Bounces it to the edge of the 50. Sampaio came up to meet it. Clean gather. Sends it to full forward. Numbers favour Werribee. At the back, Azai needs to be clean. He was. He was calm and cool in a crisis. Pinnock looks for the option to release the pressure. Tullio and Paya. There's a free kick there. And he's going the way of Dane Harvey for Carlton. In fact, it's Duffy who's last up. The Irishman gets onto his right boot. Kicks to the pocket and can't find O'Keefe.
Like the way that the Blues have been able to work themselves back into this game here. After getting a few runs on the board, it's definitely boosted their confidence, and you can see the way that they're playing. I use the word decisive in that second quarter, and I hope it doesn't come back to bite me, but they seem a lot more decisive. They seem like they're on the right, on the same page, and they're moving the ball a little bit more predictability for their team, with a little bit more predictability for their teammates.
So Will Reinhold on the bench a moment ago. He's gone down with that calf injury, one of the non-listed players for the Blues. 10 of them out there today. Drawn to a stop once more. Nearly 26 minutes played in this third term. Carlton 5 and 6 on the season, losers of their past 4. Adam Sard getting a little bit of work done on the bench. Werribee winners of their past 4, 7-1 and 3 on the campaign. Took them a little while to adjust to life under Dan Lowther, their new coach. On the same page in recent weeks. For 2 teams that can score heavily, it's been a real grind of a game so far here at IKON Park. Ball spins like a top out of play. Carlton's lowest score before today was 74 points. Williamstown kicked 46 in one of their early games against Sandringham, but coming off 170 against Essendon a couple of weeks ago. So they can both run the scoreboard up. They haven't here today. It's been tight, contested stuff. Lord showing us that. Hogg, Campriali finds some space. Tucker tried to dash forward. Blues inside the arc. Opportunity for Fogarty. Gathers, whips it around, looking for the finish. Just left it a little bit short and wide. And Louis Pinnock, as he so often is, was in the right place. Tries to whack it to safety. Jordan Boyd fisted into the Gardner stand.
They've just done such a good job, Carlton, of just taking out all the uncontested marks, all the releases out of the 50-metre line there for Werribee, who've only had 63 marks or 64 marks for the game. They've averaged 112 in their 4 wins.
Good job to shut down that part of the game. And now they'll get the opportunity inside the 50. Clearance from Riley. And the big fella's linking up. Hudson O'Keefe, who's missed a couple of opportunities This would make it a 5-point game. They got it back to 6 when Flynn Young kicked a goal at the 5-minute mark of the second quarter, Carlton. They've been no closer than that since. He's kicked the first 3 goals of the game to break open an 18-point lead. So this would really put them right back in the frame. O'Keefe with a tough assignment, sends it on its way and strikes the upright.
He'd be flat. He's had 3 shots on goal and only 2 points to show for it. So he'll keep showing up. Hopefully that it ends up dropping for him because he keeps presenting. He hasn't dropped his head every single time he's had a shot. If anything, he's just smiled and moved on. I think that's a feature of a forward. You know, your moments, they come and go, and you've got to capitalise on them when they come. But as players who often rely heavily on confidence to bring themselves into games, you can't be too hard on yourselves when you do miss those opportunities.
It's hard when you've had 5 touches, though, to keep that confidence going throughout the whole game.
He's doing a bit right up there, Hudson O'Keefe. Hasn't had the cleanest looks at it throughout the day for the most part. Hollins to Fogarty, and then some brilliant defensive work. The go Joe go gadget arms from Ryan Ayres to knock that away from Paya. He'd be a hard man to get it past with his length, Ryan Ayres. Terrific athlete as well. Paul Moon wins it down. Lord's there to lock it up. He's been important in this third term. Cooper Lord, one of 4 Blues to go across 20 disposals so far in this game. And that brings the third term to an end. And Carlton are closing, coming with a rush, looking for their first win to break a 4-game losing streak. They turn for home, 10 points behind Werribee at IKON Park as part of your Super Saturday here on Fox Footy. close with a quarter to play at IKON Park. Here's the story so far. It started well for Werribee. Brady Wright's been in great goal-kicking form. He got the first of the game for the Bees. They kicked the first three. Wright had two of them in the opening term. Carlton goalless in the first quarter. The Blues did get going somewhat in the second term. A beautiful gather from Liam Farah ends in a Flynn Young goal. That got Carlton back to within 6 points in that second quarter. But again, it was the two key forwards for Werribee that stood up. Anthony Di Pasquale with the first opportunity. Some great body work on Jordan Boyd at full forward. He went back and saluted. And then it was Brady Wright again. 3 in the game for the key forward, with Will Reinhold going out with injury for Carlton. Wright marks there, finishes and gets his third of the game. That gave Werribee a 15-point lead heading into half-time. Ryan Ayres gave away a 50-metre penalty. Cooper Lord went back and he was able to kick truly. And then it was a goal to Ashton Moyer that pulled the Blues to within 2 kicks. They had a couple of opportunities late in that third term. And we go to three-quarter time with Carlton trailing by 10 points. They could have been closer if not for a few Hudson O'Keefe misses, one late in that third quarter. It is 6-7 playing 4-9. Werribee looking for a 5th win on the bounce. Carlton trying to avoid a 5th loss on the bounce. Joel Peterson, Geordie Allen and Todd Goldstein. And Goldie, a few of the things that we've kept an eye on today, the ruck battle's been won, the battle in the midfield, it's going to be crucial here in this last term.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Cormon in his first half. He's really won the hit-outs. He kept the efficiency of Riley to only the one hit-out to advantage, and was really impressing that first half. But Carlton and Flynn Riley have really hit back in that third quarter. 12 hit-outs, 7 to advantage. Carlton won the clearance in that quarter by 10. So he just started. They need to get back on the job Werribee here and try and negate the impact of Riley's having.
So it's going to be a fascinating battle to see how it unfolds here in this last term. 10-point lead to Werribee. Drew Jones is with their coach, Dan Lowther.
Thank you, Joel. Geez, it's tight and tough out there. Dan, what's the message to the fellas at three-quarter time?
Well, we just said to the guys, we're losing clearance and field positions, so we need to tighten up around that space. But then we just can't keep playing tennis, up and back, slingshot footy. So win contest and clearance, then time forward is important for us. Yeah,
I was looking at the clearance stats, like 34-20, roughly around there. What's the key to turning that stat around? And do you feel like if you don't amend that, you're at risk of giving this one away?
Oh, to a degree. It's about playing a role better, being around structure and making sure that, we just equalise those numbers up. But, all should be okay.
All right, Coach, good luck.
No worries, thank you.
There's Dan Lowther, the former Geelong AFLW coach in recent seasons. First season at Werribee. They lost 2 of their first 3, Werribee, but they have been right well and truly on the winners list since then. 7-1 with a draw thrown in. As again, the spectators who've gone out to listen to the huddle and listen to see how Dan Lowther and Damien Truslove were firing their teams up for this third term, make their way off the ground. Great part of community footy right around the country. There'll be people out at huddles. There'll be people listening to you at footy this afternoon, Goldie, where you're headed after this.
Probably not as much intelligent conversations, I don't think, happening coming from me at those games.
So a 10-point break to Werribee here in this, as we start this final term. Super Saturday on Fox. The Blues fans hoping they can make it a double on the winners list this afternoon. Their VFL team can start proceedings off. The AFL team to come against the Eagles. And they've got the opening clearance, so Dan Lowther maybe not too pleased with what he's seen from that opening stoppage. Ollie Hollands gets onto his left boot and kicks it out of play. What caught your ear from what the Werribee coach said there, Geordie?
Well, coming from Geelong Cats, he seems to have a very similar style, just the contest and the clearance. But I think the question that Drew asked him about, does that put you at risk? He backs his players in to fall back on their structures. He clearly believes that they're a very well-drilled and disciplined team, and any offence that the Blues mount, that the Werribee players will be able to work themselves through it. So a lot of confidence in his players that they're going to hold on to it for this quarter.
There's been a shift in game plan this year. They've been pretty run and gun in recent seasons. At Werribee, it is more of a contest game this season. Here's Chesser. Kicks out wide to Hogg, who slides in. Slightly fewer style points for Darcy Hogg on that occasion. He'll need the sand bucket to replace his divots, I think, out at right half forward. Comes back to Lord. Lord gets onto his right boot, spears it to the pocket. Moyer couldn't hang on to it. He ran into traffic on the way through there, Ashton Moyer. Then he handballs it away. Chesser gets caught. And it'll be a stoppage inside 50 for the Blues.
I think the umpire might have been offside then, didn't see the little fend that he tried to give. We know that that is a cue that the umpires look for when they're giving away those holding the ball options. So lucky to get away with one there, I think.
Early opportunity for Carlton in their front half here. And a free kick coming to Logan Prout. Lockie Charlson, again, not agreeing with the umpire's decision.
Bit of self-restraint showed there. Dropped anchor mid-argument.
Yep.
He does have to be careful, though. There was one in the third quarter he started pointing at the umpire. He's just taking that line a little bit further each time. Doesn't want to give away 50, especially from here.
Hasn't kicked a goal today, Lockie Charlson, and got smothered by his brother in that third quarter as well. So things aren't going his way so far. Here's Logan Prout, the man from Leachville Gunbower, kicks to full forward. O'Keefe in the pack. In no universe or competition was that being paid a mark to Jesse Clark. That was the most optimistic appeal you'll see. Colmoon throws his boot at it. Up and down the mine shaft inside the defensive 50. And Razzo can't take it away. Here is the Jesse Clark. I mean, he probably had a hand on it, but there's no umpire that's paying that. Got the X-ray vision to look through a pack of 6. Another turnover for Werribee. Harvey. And important down back today. Play at either end. Dane Harvey. 9 games for the Blues so far this season. O'Keefe reaches across the pack. Donegan there, as always. And a free kick going the way of the Blues. And Flynn Young getting stuck into the Werribee man.
It's really important Werribee just keep their composure now. You can just see a lot of arms going in the air on every single umpire decision, and they just can't afford to let that get taken away from their task. Unfortunately, when the ball, it does look stiff, but when the ball is free like that,
yeah,
that is, once again, as Jordy said before, that's another cue the umpires look for, and it's holding the ball pretty much every time when you see that, which is unlucky.
Flynn Young wins the free kick. Here's a look at the assignment. To make it a 4-point ball game, Young's got 2 against his old team. And the Blues are well and truly back in business.
Donegan unhappy with that one. I think he's been great all day. Just to get pinned there, as you said, Todd, it's one of those ones, you're inside D50, so you don't just want to haphazardly throw your boot at it, but would you rather an opposition have a shot from outside 45 or give them something else? You know, you don't know where the ball's going to drop if you're just trying to throw your boot at it. But this is really, really interesting stuff from Carlton. I'm interested to see what Werribee do on the rebound here. They're now Carlton are within striking distance, 1 straight kick, and they've got the game in their hands.
3 goals in a row for the Blues, either side of three-quarter time. Werribee hasn't kicked a goal since the 4-minute mark of that third term. Free kick out of the middle, and he's going to be AJ Colmoon. These have sent it inside the forward 50. It'll have to come all the way back. Finn Riley just seeking the explanation from the umpire. Across the line, the big fella.
Just a little bit over the line.
Do get it inside forward 50. That's a good mark from Boyd. Brought it down to himself. Boyd with 16 disposals so far. Shown his gamesmanship throughout the day. Young kicking to the middle of the ground. It was intended for Hollands, who lost his footing, but Charlson was awake to it. On to Hollands, now to Hogg. Hogg inside forward 50. Over to Moyer. This for the lead. They have come from the clouds, Carlton. The fog's cleared at IKON Park, and the Blues are in front.
Again, that's that overlap running, that handball receive game that just seems to be a feature of their game when they open it up. Werribee are really struggling to defend the fast ball that's coming inside D50. The worst feeling is when, as a defender or any player on the ground, you're running towards goal, running towards opposition goal, trying to defend it, because you know they're running downhill and it's incredibly difficult to stop. So again, Moya popping up for his second goal of the game. He was crucial in that third term, getting them back on track, and he's the one who's put them in front.
I think when David Lowther said he didn't want this game to be a tennis match, I don't think he envisioned them 6 minutes in not taking a mark for the quarter.
He didn't think they were going out in straight sets in the final quarter, that's for sure. So a 2-point game the way of the Blues now. First lead of the contest for Carlton. They trailed by as many as 3 midway, or 23 as midway through at third term. And that's a fairly decisive graphic. Time in front, 89% to 1. It's a good margin at the moment, where he's on the wrong side of it.
But sometimes you only need that 1% to win the game.
That is absolutely true. Colmund to Pinnock, back inside to Bussettle. Right foot kick inside the 50, sets it up. Where's Wright? Pearce was there. Great roving from Charlson. Pinched away by Chesser, who speeds back toward his defensive goal. And Harvey was really calm from the defensive goal square. Holland's coming up for disposal number 26. That's what he racked up last week in his first VFL game for the season. The kick is an absolute wounded duck outside the 50, and it's marked by Jack Riding. And Riding wants to go all the way here, pointing goalward. He'll take a very good kick on tired legs. Missed one late in that third term. 12 goals, 13 on the campaign. He's going to set it up, trying to catch them off guard. Lewis Young wouldn't fall for it. Keeping it alive was Simpson, but not for long.
Not a bad outcome there. You'd rather a boundary throw in tight to the point post than it go through for a point and give Carlton the ball.
Especially with Flynn Riley on the bench and the 5-1 clearances so far to start the quarter, Werribee.
Elliott and O'Keefe in ruck. O'Keefe straight down, and Werribee were ready for that. Riding roved it beautifully, threw it on his left boot. Couldn't curl it back, and you're going to need a new footy because that's on the roof. There's a freebie up there for an air conditioning person, someone that comes and services the air conditioning units in the indoor training facility there is going to take a Sherrin home next time they visit IKON Park. 1-point ball game. The Blues holding sway at the moment. It's just cried out for someone to really grab a hold of it throughout the contest. It's been the Blues who've done it with 4 goals in a row. Start the switch here, Carlton. Chesser came all the way back to Harvey. And now Campriali. Loops it on over the top for Charlson. He got caught tight up against the boundary line. Qualmun and Campriali. Poor old Lucas Campriali just stood no chance in that physical stoush. And now Simpson needs to be neat here. He measured it nicely. Riding marks, plays on, centres it up, options everywhere. And Charlson is the man. He'll have a 40-metre kick to hand the lead back. He was fighting out of his weight class there, Lucas Campriali. And not just by one grade. It was featherweight v heavyweight stuff. AJ Qualmon helped set up this opportunity for Lockie Charlson. Hasn't kicked a goal today. 9 on the season. This to swing the lead again. It's not what he was looking for. And we are tied at 45. Still Werribee haven't kicked a goal since the 4-minute mark of that third term. Carlton have transitioned the ball well throughout the course of the day. Riding's got busy here in this last term. One of their absolute stars. Jordan Boyd's gone for the A-frame over the top of Cooper White. He was pretty keen to get rid of him. He's been involved in a bit of the niggle today, Jordan Boyd, the lead agitator out there. White kicks to the pocket. Coleman almost pulled it in over the pack. Spills away to the behind line. Nervous times for the Blues defence. Saad tries to shoot it out of there. Charlson, this is inventive. They're living dangerously. Harvey, Charlson. Gee, they've done that well in the end, the Blues. That was absolute tightrope stuff, and they've got away with it. Farah. Kick down the line. Ayres living dangerously. Lord. Handball infield. The two number 4s go into battle. Hollands and White can't be split.
I wonder whether that's a communication from Carlton that it's a handy point to Werribee if they concede that one over the line, so they'd rather, you know, risk giving up a goal and only being 6 points behind than giving up one and being 7 a chance.
Opportunity at the stoppage. Here's Darcy Tucker. He wanted to put them 6 to the good. And the ball spun through for a minor score.
I think with a lot of footy still to play, I think that Saad could have just walked that over the line and just taken a little bit of the sting out of it for him.
He always wanted to try the unorthodox. He's Adam Saad. It was certainly that. Riding kept it in on the outer side. Tulio slides in. Hogg riding once more. He's been pivotal so far for the Bees. Now an entry from Busuttil. It's a deep one. It's a good one. Di Pasquale out the back. Rolls into the open goal. And Werribee's back on top.
What a way to work his defender under there. Just knew that he had the space out the back. And once Werribee put speed on the ball in between the arcs here, Carlton are in a bit of a scramble, and I'm glad to see that Di Pasquale didn't try to kick the leather off it there. I thought he was maybe going to try and boot it up to match its cousin up on the roof, but glad he didn't. Just put it through decisively.
Now the challenge falls back to Carlton. How do they respond? Can Werribee maybe try and stretch their legs? First goal breaks a run of 4 unanswered Carlton goals. Anthony Di Pasquale with 6 goals from his 2 games so far this season. He's been a very solid contributor for them from limited opportunities so far. Colmourn toe pokes it forward. Gets Werribee moving again. Brew, standing start to fall forward. Wright went up in front, had it pinched off him by Young. He had 4/5 of that, Brady Wright. Not enough, according to the umpire. Taken away by Simpson. Now to the goal line, and Wright just lets it bounce through. 2 in no time for Werribee, and they're out by 11.
Well, we said early on in the game that's a feature of both of these teams. Are able to pile on the points very quickly and in quick succession, and Werribee have really struggled to find their feet in this quarter, but they've got 2 back-to-back. Very well done there by Wright, just to award his teammate and Simpson the goal. Just protect the ball, let it roll through. But Werribee, they're absolutely charging, and I said the same about Werribee when Carlton laid on 2 goals early on. I'm really interested to see how Carlton respond after 2 Werribee goals back-to-back.
And off the back of clearance as well, that one, Goldie.
Yeah, it's 7-2 in this quarter to Werribee's way, and the 2 have come from hit-outs to advantage to Flynn Riley, but Coolmon's on 4 clearances for the quarter.
Just got the toe poke there to try and get it going. Big AJ. He's having an impact in there. Now Donegan sends it forward for Werribee. Right the target, pushed under it. Riding over the top. Ball up. They didn't kick a goal between the 4-minute mark of the third term and the 13-minute mark of the last quarter, Werribee, and they got 2 in a minute. A tackle from Hogg. Knocks up Donegan. Massive bodies inside forward 50 here for Werribee. Tucker's dragged down by a couple. And we go back into this stoppage style that's been so prevalent throughout the day. Not a high-scoring affair. Has not been much room to breathe for either side. Free kick. It's going to Big Kwalmoon. He's just going to take the breather. He's Big AJ. 5 goals on the season. He's played every game, leads the competition in hit-outs.
I'm not sure this is in his wheelhouse.
Well, I think he thinks differently, Goldie. He's going to kick from right on the front edge of the centre square. He lays into it, gives it a really good ride. It goes almost the whole journey. And he's maybe come up half a metre short.
I started to feel sick about halfway through that.
He went back with some belief and showed why. Makes it a 2-goal lead for Werribee. Carlton on the counter-punch. Hogg ran out of options. Back to Moya. Prout goes wide. Logan can't keep it in despite his valiant effort. He's Jordan Boyd, so clearly knew he had to get the footy back in play and risk a flag to the face in doing so. So the umpire waving the white flag. Carlton far from it at this stage of the contest. Brew, little handball forward was a neat one. Tullio just wriggles free from the tackle. Off to Donegan, edge of the 50. Squaring kick, excellent vision. And Busuttil floats forward. Boyd's gone down in back play. And Jordan Busuttil's got the opportunity to give Werribee a 3-goal lead. Came off sore last week, Jordan Boyd, and faced a test to get up for today. Pulled through from the shoulder concern.
It looked like he copped a stray elbow leaving from that contest there.
Tangled up with Tom Simpson. Right to the chin. Meantime, Busuttil's got 1 already for his second and a 3-goal break. That kick was never on target.
The exciting thing for Werribee is it's not the usual suspects getting to work. Charlie Lazaro has yet to have a disposal. Don Brew's only had the 1 for the quarter, so 2 for the quarter so far. So it's players like Riding and Coolmon that is really starting to step up for them.
Donegan an important part of it too. Jordan Boyd's bounced back up, which is good to see. And he's providing his trademark run and carry. So too is Sard. Kicks it an absolute mile inside the 50 to Moya. There's reaching across in combination with Clark. Force it toward the boundary line. O'Keefe keeps it alive. Off a step, the kick from Campriali. And then it was Payer who went into defensive mode up front for the Blues to get the stoppage. They kicked 4 in a row either side of three-quarter time, Carlton. They came from 23 down to hit the front. Now Werribee out by 13. Have they got another surge here, the Blues? Looking for a 5th win in a row, Werribee. Carlton trying to avoid a 5th loss in a row. Busuttil. And Clark's kicked it out of bounds on the full. Boyd will bring it back into play and knows that he's got to get on with the job. It's a 3-score game. Boyd bites it off to the pocket. O'Keefe crashes into Brew. And again, it's off hands and out. Don Brew not wildly happy with the treatment from big Hudson O'Keefe either. Listening to Charlie Lazaro talk on the State of Play podcast recently, said Don Brew is a wildly different person on the field to off it. He's an agitator on it, different off the field, a very caring teammate. Moya across the contest. He kicks across the face of goal, and that one slapped out of play as well. So Werribee defending grimly here, as they've done throughout the day. And what a turnaround it's been from Carlton, conceding 155 points last week. They conceded at least 6 goals in every quarter, or at least 5 goals in every quarter, I should say. They've only conceded 8 for the game today. Time is running out on the Blues. Another stoppage. Riding with 7 disposals in the quarter, Boyd with 8 for Carlton. A couple of the key protagonists late in the piece. Werribee will be pretty happy just to keep forcing stoppages here. It's Carlton and West Coast coming up as part of your Super Saturday on Fox. We'll get you there straight after the conclusion of this one at IKON Park. So Blues fans, you do not need to leave your seat throughout the day here on Fox Footy. Newton got caught, got the handball away. It spills free, but only to Boyd of Carlton. He kicked like he was going the wrong way there, knew exactly what he was doing to find Sard, knew where the support was. Now Sard sprints clear. He kicks longer full forward. Pinnock went without it. Simpson there to mop up. And an important mark from Di Pasquale under heat. There was a big pluck. He's turning it over with the kick in field though. Here's Lord. Lord to fall forward. Hudson O'Keefe, no. And Moyers rushed out of play.
Werribee defence standing up really tall under immense pressure at the moment. Some huge efforts.
There's Clark and Pinnock, the 3 keys back there with Azai, so they've got some impressive tall timber. Carlton have struggled for that avenue for goal in a decisive way. O'Keefe hasn't kicked one. Flynn Young's kicked 2, Moyers kicked 2. Just haven't had a forward really grab the game, the Blues. Nice delivery from Newton to find Di Pasquale, who directs traffic from the wing. And a good mark there from Wright, who started it so brightly. For Werribee, 3 goals, all of them came in the first half. Long kick to the pocket. Coleman had his run stifled and it goes out of play. Blues with a couple of goals to start this term. They both came in the first 6 minutes. And Werribee have settled since then. 2 goals in reply. To get it out beyond 2 kicks now. Donegan inside 50 here for the Bees. The Blues trying to roll the dice through the middle of the ground. Pavlidis, he gets thumped by Flynn Young. A little bit of byplay between Pavlidis and Young, former teammates. Premiership teammates here at IKON Park for Werribee. Pavlidis to Ivicic, who's been good. A couple of desperate defensive efforts today from Xavier Ivicic. And Pinnock will put it into ball control mode after he receives the mark. So they've seen off the threat pretty well here in the end, Werribee.
They've really lifted this last quarter in every aspect of the game.
They had to be sparked into action by a couple of Carlton goals, but they've managed things pretty well from there. As Brew and Lucas Campriali get tangled up. Campriali had a nasty injury earlier in the season with a lacerated kidney after a contest here at IKON Park, so he's done well to get back into this squad. Prout to Lord. Lord inside the 50. And that's a really strong mark from Payer, something Carlton just hasn't seen enough of up there today. And he's got to go back and kick this, not necessarily in a hurry, but not wasting any time either. 3rd game of the season for Sam Payer. Got a goal already today. This for his 2nd. And there's still some life here for Carlton. It's a 7-point game.
You can see the urgency. As soon as that ball was cut off at halfway, Carlton players were looking to shape inside here. Great inside 50 here by Lord as well, just to find Payer on the lead there. They've just got to continue to show up. I think the proof will be here at this centre clearance, Todd. Can Carlton get it forward from this clearance? They desperately need to.
Yeah, I think they've got to get really aggressive here now. They're running out of time. The clearances are 4 to 13 in this quarter alone, and it's 3 to 1 in centre bounce. So they're going to have to risk losing it and giving up a goal, I think, just to do something really aggressive and make the most of Flynn Riley's height and ability.
Felt like Werribee had control of the contest. Just illustrates how close it's been throughout the course of the day. 7 points down now, Carlton. And they need to go chips in here. Ollie Holland's a little bit overzealous, trying to take care of Lazaro, who wins the free kick, kicks Werribee up to half forward. Riding couldn't take it. Campriali soccers it back the other way. Brew was in the right spot to mark. Wide he goes. Saad knocks it down. Chesser and Saad combine. The run of Adam Saad. He almost got picked off. The handball chain works out. Hollands, Lord, full forward. O'Keefe, no. At ground level, who can he find? Stepping through. A shot from Farrer. Liam Farrer on the left boot. And it's a 1-point game.
What a game. I thought it was going to be O'Keefe there. Reward for effort after the game he's had today. Just hasn't been able to put one through the big sticks. Again, this overlap handball, this ability to put speed on the ball at the right time of the game. And that inside 50 there from Farrer. Sorry, not from Farrer, from Ayres to go get the ball inside 50 was unbelievable.
They haven't looked like it for about 20 minutes, Carlton. All of a sudden, 2 goals in 2 minutes, and they could pinch this off Werribee. What's the key now for Werribee to try and snuff this out, Todd?
Well, they can't just go into their shells. They have to keep playing the footy because Carlton are just out-aggressive, being more aggressive than them at the moment.
They are on the fly, and Ollie Hollands is an exemplar of that. 2 goals to 1 behind in the last 10 minutes. You could change that graphic to the last 3 minutes. And it'll be 2 goals to nothing for Werribee, and they will get the clearance. Hogg to Chesser. And the crowd that have stayed around here at IKON Park just starting to sense the moment. Chesser got caught. Ivasic holds him up. That's a massive contest win. And Xavier Ivasic would not be beaten there. He's done a couple of brilliant defensive things today. The former Cats rookie. He sends Werribee forward. Elliott in from the side. Couldn't take the mark. They've got the numbers. Di Pasquale, open goal face. Rolls it there. Minor score. And it's got to be end-to-end in a flash here for Carlton. Campriali wasted no time. Charlson hits the go button. Fogarty couldn't win it. Donegan takes it away. Kicks inside the 50. And Brady Wright, where it all started, has the footy in his hands.
Crucial win there from Donegan. He's been huge all day, leading possession getter for Werribee, equal with Brew, and that might be his most important possession all day.
And this for Brady Wright to put it beyond doubt for his 4th. And Werribee's winning run will roll on. Four goals for Brady Wright, 30 on the season now. And that, such a crucial contest to be won. Ivasic at half-back on the outer side, and then that from Donegan. They've made a mighty fist of this, though, Carlton. Full credit to them from where they were. A man down on the bench as well. It's just been a bit too much to handle up there today, Brady Wright. 4 straight from 12 disposals and 9 marks.
Werribee setting up defensively. Their wings are just going back to make sure that if the ball does go forward for Carlton, that they've got numbers there to mop it up.
They're going to be used here. Fogarty with a deep entry. Up goes Logan again. In fact, Farrer it was, couldn't take the mark. White comes across. He's got Hogg draped all over him, and Hogg will win the free. They need to give it back to him pretty quickly. Screaming everywhere at the moment. Darcy Hogg rolls around and hits the post.
Not exactly sure what he was waiting for then. He wasn't going through a goal kicking routine. He was just standing there.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he thought he needed to wait or... We've had mostly pretty short quarters today. We've gone 32 here, so we've gone the full journey. And we've been delivered full value by these two teams. A 5th win in a row for Werribee. They survive a spirited Carlton challenge. Trailed in the last term after leading by 23 in the third. And they will cement their spot inside the top 4 at 8 wins, 1 draw and 3 losses on the season. For the Blues, it's a 5th loss in a row. They fall to 5 and 7. And they will try to pick up the pieces of their campaign next week against Richmond. Werribee with Southport next week, the team they vanquished here in the previous matchup they played here at IKON Park in the grand final of 2024. It was a bit of a grind, Goldie and Geordie, but that game really came to life in those final few minutes, and Carlton made an almighty charge at that.
Certainly did. They gave it their all in that last quarter. I think what we heard from Truslove at the beginning of the game was that he really appreciated the effort that his team were giving, and the fact that they were able to show up for 4 quarters and they did not take a backward step. I think that's the bare minimum that you ask for, but their ability to throw punches at this Werribee team, who was also able to throw counter punches on the other. It's a really good response from Carlton, who had a pretty poor outfit last week.
So a 5th win in a row for Werribee. Brady Wright kicked 4. He was always going to be the focal point. He's with Drew Jones.
Thank you, Joel. Brady, congratulations. 4 goals today and a victory. Geez, the Blues made you work hard, didn't they?
Yeah, 100%. That last quarter come down to the end, but got fortunate then with some clutch moments from the backman, and then some middies, some great entries inside 50 then for that last one. So it was a good team win. So you were able to turn around the clearances in the last quarter. The midfield group really stepped up. What allowed them to take that dominance through the midfield? I think it's just probably the leaders like Brewy, Laz, like the well-experienced boys. Just they know how to take over the game, and they did that well in the second half. You had your kicking boots on today? Yeah, just trying to... Been working on it a lot of training, and just want to stay consistent and have a good year throughout the whole year, not just have one good game, one off. And so it's, yeah, consistency is a big one for me. So you've got 30 goals so far this season, really great campaign. What's allowed you to take your game to the next level this season? I reckon just doing a full pre-season. Last year got injured on the knee and had the whole pre-season in rehab, and this year was fully healthy and because of a full pre-season. So I reckon that's helped a lot. 5 straight wins as well. You must be proud of the boys. Yeah, 100%. Just got to keep on going and take it into finals. Brady, well played. Thank you. On you, mate.
Brady Wright with 4 straight today, so 30 goals, 9 on the season, and he has really emerged as their key target up front, and does it in a variety of ways too, Todd, but when you get the opportunities, you got to take them. Yeah, you can just see he's a smart forward. He knows the positions to run. He had 9 marks on the game, 4 goals straight, so he made the most of opportunities, and it was a hard day for that opportunity, but he did really well with it. And against the Carlton defence that was always going to scramble for an answer to him as well. So you see there, Donegan with that late entry. That was the one that sealed it for Brady Wright. And he put that 7-point win beyond doubt at the end of the game. One of their key contributors, as always today, Dom Brew, the 3-time reigning best and fairest. He's with Drew.
Joel, thank you. Dom, congratulations. 5 straight wins, but you had to work pretty hard for this one.
Yeah, it is 5 straight. No, they're a good side. Their last win-loss hasn't reflected that, but at the start of the year they were really strong. So to come up against a good quality opposition and actually get a good hard-fought win is a good result for us.
I was talking to your coach at 3/4 time about that clearance differential they were dominating in there. What allowed you to turn things around the last quarter?
I think we stuck to task more. I think we were sort of letting Ollie Holland's a good player, obviously. He's getting off the chain, and I just thought we weren't on the defensive side. So tried to clean that up in the last quarter and get it back on our terms. We've got a great ruckman in AJ, and Will, when he comes in, chops us out. So we just tried to even it in the end there.
It was hard fought, it was scrappy at times, but Brady showed every time he gets the ball in hand, he's a chance, isn't he?
Yeah, we're very, very lucky that he didn't go mid-season. Probably would have been a big loss for us, but I think he'll be headed off to bigger and better things next year.
I was going to say, not mid-season, but probably end of season.
Yeah, 100%. He's an absolute cracking kid, and last year I think was real good coming of age of him. He got 9 games in. It was a bit hit and miss, but he's had a super pre-season and just really starting to attack it, and yeah, I'm so happy for him, so that's good.
What about you, Dom? How are you feeling, mate? Your standards have been sublime over the last 3 seasons. Another big year and potentially climbing back towards the top of the ladder again. Yeah,
it is. It's been all right. Got some good recruits this year in Laz and Sammy Donegan and Jordan Bustle. So new midfield group. So it's great sharing the load, and yeah, it's good. Hopefully we can get back to the top. That's the goal. But I just really enjoy my footy. It's good.
Good on you, mate. And you're back here with good memories. Last time you were here with the flag. On you, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Well
Cheers.
done.
Thanks,
Well
mate. Cheers.
Thanks to Drew and to Dom Brew. Werribee winners by 7 points. So 5th win in a row for Werribee. They've got Southport, St Kilda, Port Melbourne, Footscray, Tassie and Sandringham to come. Carlton with Richmond next week. Box Hill, Gold Coast, Brisbane, St Kilda and Footscray. There's bigger fish to fry for Blues fans. They take on the West Coast Eagles at Marvel Stadium, looking for a 6th straight win. As we say farewell from IKON Park, we'll send you to Marvel Stadium as Super Saturday on Fox continues.
Welcome to Marvel Stadium. The Blues, who are looking for 6 in a row, play host to the Eagles, chasing their 5th win of the year. Welcome to Super Saturday live on Fox, brought to you by Toyota. Another legendary moment as I welcome in Brad Johnson, Nick Del Santo, and straight off the top, the coach of the Eagles, Andrew McQuarrie. Welcome, Minnie.
Thanks, Nico.
I'm excited. I'm not even playing, but chasing a team that's won 5 in a row. What an opportunity for your young group today.
Yeah, and that's what we've spoken about. Like, these guys are playing good footy. They're in good form. But we want to test ourselves against some of the better teams in the competition as the year goes, and we get that opportunity today. They sort of look statistically, they're one of the better teams in the comp over the last maybe 5 or 6 weeks, so it'll be a good challenge for us.
Also, you must be about where your team's at as well, Vinny, because over the last 5 weeks you've gone win, close, loss, win, close, loss, close, loss. You're actually there. It's not too far away.
It would be better if you said win, win.
I know, I get that. I get that. But overall, in the context of development, you're in a good spot.
Yeah, look, we're playing better, and